Although Spain is known for their sausages and spreads, in Alicante's central market, directly across from a meat shop, there's a green gem that is there to make a statement to show that vegan food can compete and taste just as good. Today I'm inviting you on my tour of La Puerta del Pirineo's commercial kitchen, learn their story, see how vegan chorizo is made, and of course, feast on the food. Let's go!
Hola, soy Julio de Vegana y ella es mi madre, que es la que hace las recetas normalmente.
¿Le ha tocado?
Y bueno, somos una empresa familiar y aquí nos dedicamos a hacer productos tradicionales, pero sin carne.
Resultó que un día, aquí este hijo que tengo llega y me dice: mamá, soy vegano. Y yo pensé que iba a morir en aquel momento. Entonces empecé a hacer recetas tradicionales de las que hacía mi abuela, pero sin carne. Nos costó mucho al principio, Julio me ayudó mucho con el tema del veganismo y poco a poco pues nos ha ido contagiando, la verdad. Pues nuestra aventura comienza en el Pirineo, estuvimos allí 5 años. En medio de animales, terneros y caballos. Yo creo que eso fue algo que también le afectó mucho a Julio, trabajar con esos animales.
Sí,
bueno, el caso es que nosotros hicimos un puesto de quesos al principio y entonces alguna vez habíamos traído cosas que le había fabricado a él, como un poco de chorizo o lo que sea, y hacíamos bocadillos y la gente empezó a probarlo. Y pues tráeme un chorizo de esos que hacéis, y al final empezamos a meter cosas y ya todo el mundo venía, en lugar de a por el queso, pues a por el chorizo o a por la sobrasada, y en fin, pues eso, fue poco a poco.
Their chorizo is made from a base of chickpeas and spices, so it's also gluten-free. It's then mixed into a dough and placed into a traditional sausage making machine, where the vegan meat is packaged just like sausage. Then it is boiled in hot water to cook through to give it that meaty texture. But what impacts have they had being across from a traditional meat stand?
Estando allí al lado de las carnicerías, nos encontrábamos con un caso que nos pasa mucho. Por ejemplo, llega un abuelito que tiene el colesterol súper alto y que echa de menos la sobrasada desde hace muchos años. Entonces prueba nuestra sobrasada y como tiene un sabor tan parecido y tan igual, pues nos compra a nosotros la sobrasada porque en lugar de tener colesterol tiene avena, que además le baja el colesterol. Muchos clientes nuestros no son veganos, pero empiezan a comer mucha menos carne porque se están aprovisionando de la carne vegetal que nosotros les estamos haciendo.
Okay, as you can see, I have this enormous feast. You guys, the amount of vegan products they make here is amazing. They have such a wide selection of traditional Spanish type of meats and spreads and cheeses and dishes. You have to try them. They have an amazing selection and this can all be purchased at the market. So before the pandemic, this place used to be a place where you could buy product and eat it here as well. But due to COVID, it's currently closed. But once everything opens up again, they have plans to do that once again. So first I'm gonna try their chorizo. This chorizo is one of my favorites. It's actually the only product I've tried from them before, because when I went to the market for the first time, I saw their stand of vegan meats and I was like, oh my God, I have to try something. So when you cook it in the oil and it sizzles, it just gives it that delicious traditional touch of chorizo that you would normally find it anywhere else, but it's vegan. All the spices that they put in it makes it really flavorful and really gives it that traditional touch, as they were mentioning. They're trying to keep everything as traditional as possible. So next I'm gonna try some of their fresh cheese. This was one of their very first products before they even started selling the vegan meats. And because they had such a success with this, that's why they started selling vegan meats. So they tried to replicate a fresh mozzarella texture. So let's give it a try. That fresh cheese texture is perfect. I think they've done a really great job. Neutral flavor. It's fantastic. Next thing, you have to try the sobrasada. The sobrasada is one of the most popular products. There's some people who aren't even vegan, they eat meat, but they prefer their sobrasada. So for those of you who don't know, sobrasada, traditionally, sobra means leftovers. So traditionally, sobrasada is meat and fat, typically leftover pig meat. And of course, this is vegan, so there's none of that. So what they use is oatmeal and other spices and other beans to give it that texture. Who doesn't want that instead of the traditional kind? The traditional kind just sounds disgusting. You don't even know what you're eating. So let's give this a try. This has a really good flavor. I love how juicy and like the texture that the sobrasada has. You can still get like that fattiness, but of course it's healthy fat. It's like olive oil. I think they've done a really good job of replicating the texture, and the color is amazing. The flavor is great. The spices they use is wonderful. So next I'm gonna try the morcilla. For those of you that don't know, morcilla is typically black pudding, blood sausage. Typically the traditional version, the color is given with blood, but this has no blood. It's all just natural beans that they use to give it that color and flavor with spices. So this was their most difficult one for them to create because of those unique ingredients, but I think they've done a really good job. Next that I'm gonna try, this is interesting. So another typical dish that they eat in Spain is something called callos. Now, if you don't know what callos are, it's calluses, and it's usually cow calluses, that just sounds disgusting. But you can imagine if you grew up eating that in a small town or a village, you will miss it. So they've replicated that using mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and it's traditionally eaten with chickpeas. So I'm gonna try that. This is really good. The flavor is almost like a stew, and I love the texture of the oyster mushrooms because the traditional version, the texture is a little gelatinous. Okay, so next is the meatballs. You guys, I tell you, they have a variety of everything. So the meatballs are flour and chickpea based, and they just look really meaty and really good, and they have a sauce on them, so. I like the texture of this too. It's light, it's not heavy. Everything here feels like you're eating something healthy, which is what I like. Fixing your craving, but still eating healthy, and it's good for your digestive system. Last but not least, we're gonna try the pesto. You can get a bunch of spreads from them as well, so they use fresh basil, everything made in-house, so let's try this. That fresh basil flavor really comes through. This would be perfect. You know what? In fact, I'm gonna put some cheese on this because this will be amazing with cheese. As you can see, a lot of these dishes are served on top of bread. They're like montaditos, is a typical way they eat it here. And so, tapasal, you know, just get in with the whole Spanish culture way of eating. Overall, as you can see, everything here, you will enjoy it. They have a variety of options. I highly recommend you try it. If you're in Alicante, make sure to go to the Central Market. That's where their stand is, and you can buy all of these products. It is across from an actual meat stand, but who cares? They're making a statement saying that, hey, we sell vegan meats and it tastes just as good.
Un objetivo sería mostrar a más gente que se puede comer de una forma sana, se puede comer de una forma tradicional sin necesidad de recurrir a la carne.